Hey parents, we had another great week at youth group this last Wednesday. And this week, the hot topic was dealing with fear, anxiety, and depression. And man, again, talk about a lot of heavy stuff. There is so much that goes on in a middle schooler's mind and throughout their day that just causes fear or anxiety or depression, or all three of them all at once. And so, I mean, just think about it. When we were their age, we would do fire drills, and depending on where you lived, you might do earthquake drill or a hurricane drill. They also now have active shooter drills at school. I mean, just pause for a second. You know, active shooter drills. I mean, somebody coming into their school with a gun and staying still, and the anxiety that that might bring. And so there's a lot that our teens are having to deal with that cause these fears, anxieties, even things that cause depression. And so we just touched on it. Again, it's a broad topic. There's a couple different things that kind of go into this for a teen, and as odd as it might sound, kids are hitting puberty sooner. So girls are hitting it as early as 10, and boys are starting to hit it as early as 11 and 12 years old. And so with that, I mean, there's a lot of different causes for that, but I mean, the brain, the brain of a 10-year-old or an 11-year-old or a 12-year-old is just not set up to handle those type of emotional influxes and things of that nature. And so what that again does is cause fear, anxiety, and depression. And so the Bible has, luckily the Bible has tons of different verses dealing with fear, dealing with anxiety, dealing with depression. And so a couple of the things that we talked about is just if Philippians, it just says, do not be anxious about anything. I mean, that's hard to do. How do you not be anxious about anything? Well, it's when we get our eyes off of Jesus, off what God is doing for us and to us, where anxiety, fear, or depression start to rise. And so, but it says, but in everything, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your request to God. It's just turning back to God and getting focused back on God. Again, when we understand where we came from, that we are made in His image, we know where we're going to end up with Him. If we choose to follow Him, we're going to end up with Him. And so when we have those things firmly in mind, it's in this time in between that it's when our eyes are typically off of Jesus, where fear or anxiety or depression begin to take over. Now, and so again, whenever we're talking about, you see scripture that talk about fear, anxiety, and depression, a lot of times it's putting away your idols, getting again your eyes off of the things that distract you and getting them back onto God. That's a big part of dealing with these emotions and these feelings. And so, again, that's where we kind of delved into the most. Now, I do want to say there are some medical conditions as well. And so there might be some time where a student, maybe your student, might need some counseling, might need some medication for a short period of time. There's nothing in Scripture that says, oh, you just need to pray harder. Yes, prayer is a big part of healing and things of that nature. God can heal anything. But again, if I've got diabetes, I'm going to take my medicine. If I break my leg, I'm going to a doctor and they're going to put me in a cast. Same thing with the chemistry set that we have is if there's something off, it's okay to see a doctor. It's okay to see counselors for a short bit of time or even maybe an extended period of time. That's perfectly okay. And it's still perfectly godly. And then one last thing about this, there's a show out, it's on Netflix called 13 Reasons Why, and I just want to encourage you, if your kids spend a lot of time watching Netflix, I would encourage you to either, one, see if your kids have watched that, watch the show, but it's a very graphic show about a girl who commits suicide, and when I say graphic, I mean very graphic. The rating of it on it is TVMA, that's TV mature, and so it's not just TV 14 or TVR, it's TVMA. And so, again, it's very graphic. Here's what I would encourage you. One, if your kid wants to see it, because there's a lot of teens that are watching it, because it's towards high schoolers, and so a lot of middle schoolers are wanting to watch it as well. But its audience really should be for an adult. There are some very graphic scenes in there, and so if your teen really wants to watch it, I'd say watch it together. That way, you guys can have some dialogue about it. There can be some interaction with it. Don't be surprised to be a little disturbed by it, because it's, again, graphic. But a lot of our teens are watching it, and so if your teen has already watched it, try to do some debriefing with them. Talk to them again, because suicide is a big deal. We will be talking about suicide here in a couple weeks. We're going to have a panel for our leaders. We're going to have a panel of our leaders just talking about suicide and just struggling with those kind of things. So, but again, check out to see if they've watched 13 Reasons Why, and if not, it's okay to, if they haven't, it's okay to say no, we're not going to watch it. If they're really saying, but can I? Then I'd say either you watch it first or you guys watch it together. So, but again, most likely if you watch it, you're going to say no, you can't watch it, because again, pretty graphic. That's all I got for this week. Guys, God bless. Again, I say this every week, but I love serving your students. I love serving you as well. And so I'm so thankful to be in this together with you and your students. So again, God bless. Take care.